Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome back, and thank you so much for tuning in again. Before we get started, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and at the end of the video, if you like what you heard, please give me a thumbs up. And always feel free to leave comments below and share the video with others. So, last week we talked about comparison and how it can contribute to you viewing yourself in a negative way. This week, I want to give you a reminder. Don't forget your small blessings. You know, like when you're at the grocery store and you're looking for a parking space and you find one right up front. That's favor, right? Especially if you're pressed for time. And what about when you're in the grocery store? You may be purchasing something and it may have a coupon on it. That's also favor. So these are just small things that we're not expecting, but we need to remember to be thankful and count them as our blessings, right? With my grandma, I remember sometimes me and my sisters would get together and one would say, "Oh, grandma told me how you blessed her. That was amazing." And I was like, "Oh, well, I didn't think it was that much." And then when I would disclose the amount, we would just laugh. But that just goes to show you that my grandma, she was grateful whether she was receiving a lot or a little. You were giving her $100 or you were giving her $10, her praise remained the same. She was still grateful for what you were giving her, and she still gave God the glory for her blessing. Sometimes we're waiting on that big breakthrough, right? We're praying for that big blessing, that big thing we're asking God for, whether it be financial increase, whether it be favor in a promotion, whether it be a new house, you want to become a homeowner, or you're praying for God to send you a spouse, or you and your spouse are praying for God to bless you with the baby. And when that blessing doesn't come through in your timing, you may get down, you may get discouraged, and you may even question God. Where is my blessing, God? When is it coming? Philippians 4:4 says, "Rejoice in the Lord always." Again, I say rejoice. Let's just think about that. I kind of feel like this scripture is already set up for your rebuttal. It's like you're going to go to God with a problem, and his first response is, it's already stated at the beginning, to rejoice. But then you continue on with your problem because you want God to know how big it is and how out of control it is. And his second response, he's reminding you in the scripture, again, I say rejoice. So it's like he's already prepared for that. He knows that you're going to be reluctant to rejoice when you're faced with a trial or a tribulation, when you're faced with discouragement and disappointment. Likely, our first reaction would not be to rejoice. It's so easy for us to cling to fear and to get wrapped up in the situation that we're forgetting that what God can do in the situation for us at that time. Guess what? We're not alone. Even the very disciples who walked with Jesus, who saw him perform different miracles, they also struggle with fear. What if Jesus' answer to them was the same response that we see in Philippians 4:4? Let's take a look at Matthew 14:15. Disciples came to him and said, "This is a remote place, and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the villages and buy food for themselves." So, using Philippians 4:4, that's the problem. Jesus' response should be, rejoice. And let's look at his response. In verse 16, Jesus said, "This isn't necessary. You feed them." "But we only have 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish," they answered. That's them letting Jesus know that this is bigger than what you think, Jesus. But guess what? Jesus' response again is rejoice, because he says what in verse 18? "Bring them here," he said. 19. Then he told the people to sit down on the grass. Jesus took the 5 loaves and 2 fish, looked up toward heaven, and blessed them. Then, breaking the loaves into pieces, he gave the bread to the disciples, who distributed it to the people. They all ate as much as they wanted, and afterward, the disciples picked up 12 baskets of leftovers. About 5,000 men were fed that day, in addition to all the women and children. What problem are you going to Jesus with? Are you looking for a financial increase? Rejoice. Are you afraid that your rejoice is not going to be heard? Again, he says rejoice. So that's just basically saying that when you look at a problem, you should rejoice because you know that Jesus is going to have your back. God is going to deliver you from that situation. Think about the times that he's delivered you before and rest in that. We are blessed every day. When He wakes us up and allows us to use our body parts, we're blessed. When we're able to walk in a room without light and to flip on a switch and light it up, we're blessed. When we're able to walk to our refrigerator and satisfy that rumble in our tummy, we're blessed. We can identify 20 ways we are blessed without even leaving out our front, even mentioning how we're protected and covered when we are out of our house. I encourage you. The next time you're feeling discouraged about a blessing that you're waiting to arrive, count the ones you already have. Today, I want you to meditate on Matthew 25 and 23, which reads, "The Master said, 'Well done, my good faithful servant. You have been faithful in handling this small amount, so now I will give you many more responsibilities. Let's celebrate together.'" Until next time, be blessed.